Good erev Shabbos, everyone. Parshas Balak in Eretz Yisrael, Parshas Chukas in Chutz La'aretz, and it's also Yud Beis Yom Tamuz, the day that we celebrate the liberation of the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe in 1927 from communist Russia for spreading Yiddishkeit, specifically for Jewish education. So, a beautiful sicha and Farbrengen that the Rebbe verbringt on Yud Beis Tamuz, Motzei Shabbos, Parshas Chukas Balak, in the year 1979, Tov Shin Lamed Tes. And the Rebbe was speaking then about the ash, about the concept, the mitzvah of paraduma, that it says, it's brought down in the Zohar, in the conversation between Reb Shimon Bar Yochai and the Pinchas ben Yair and his son Reb Elazar, that the schus of Avram, the merit of Avram Avinu, our forefather, that he said, that I'm like dust and ash, so the Jewish people were given the mitzvah of paraduma. So the Rebbe says that we know that in halacha there's a concept called Gezer Shava, where you have words that meet or match, so they could teach us something. But what is the depth of the connection between Avram Avinu saying Anochi Afer ve'efer, with the para, the efer of the paraduma, the ash of the paraduma? And the Rebbe says an amazing thing, that one of the things about both the paraduma and the idea of ash is that first you have something, and you take the fire and you burn out. It burns out until there's ash. We know that the Rebbe talks about in Kutei Torah that the paraduma, the ash of the paraduma, represents the concept where the four elements of water, fire, earth, and wind. So when you burn something, it gets rid of the other three elements, and only the earth remains. The ash is the earth that remains. So basically, a person has to first have who they are, he or she is. You have your personality, you have your things, your wants, things that work for you, things that may not work for you. And to take the concept of the eish, the fire, the passion that you have for Hashem, like Avram Avinu had, the tremendous passion he had for Hashem. The reason why Avram was Avinu, was a Baal Chesed, was a person of kindness, because of his great passion and love he had for Hashem, the Avas Hashem he had. And when you take the fire and you burn the tree, it means you get rid of the form that you precondition yourself, you set for yourself, who you are, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. And you start from the beginning, from the ash, and you reform and remake who you are. That's the idea of paraduma. That's the idea of the paraduma, the red heifer, could even purify a person who reaches the depth of impurity, the depth of tumas meis, the impurity of a death, a person who comes in contact with death, which also means spiritually, a person who becomes spiritually dead, where you don't feel spiritually alive, you have zero emotion, zero response to anything godly, anything spiritual. That through the efer, through the ash of the paraduma, you could resurrect yourself, so to say, to become a new person with Ava, like the Avram Avinu had, that he rebuilt himself to a person of chesed, person of kindness, doing for others because of the bittul, because of the nullification he had. And I want to also add that the Rebbe spoke about the Farbrengen, he really focused on the idea of the Be'er of Miriam, the well of Miriam. That they brought down the halacha that says in the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, and it's brought down from the Bais Yosef, and it's brought down in the Ramah even quotes it, that the Be'er Shel Miriam, the well of Miriam, went into the Yam Tveria, which we know today as the Kinneret, and you could see it from different viewpoints. You could see ruffles in the water. That's the well of Miriam, and it's brought down in halacha in the name of the Kol Boy, who was a Rishon. That's also brought down in Medrash, that on Motzei Shabbos, Saturday night after you make Havdalah, right after Baruch Hu, you should go and try to draw water from wells or from fresh water, because maybe you'll be drawing from the well of Miriam, and anyone who draws from the well of Miriam, then it's a segula, it's a merit that you're going to have a total refuah shalema, even to the level of Machayim Eisim, even if it means to resurrect the dead, a person who's that either spiritually or physically ill. And the Alter Rebbe brings it down the halacha, that a person Motzei Shabbos go out, and the Kol Boy brings a story of a woman who drew water, and the water spilled because she was frightened, and only the parts that touched her husband healed him. So this is a Shabbos of refuah. When the Rebbe says that if you can't get draw fresh water on Saturday night, Motzei Shabbos, learn the halach and Shulchan Aruch from the Alter Rebbe, that connecting the well of Miriam to Motzei Shabbos brings a refuah, and everyone who needs a refuah shall refuah shalema. And the greatest refuah, which is the geula, the redemption with Mashiach Tzidkenu, B'karav Mamish, that we should spend Yud Beis Tamuz with the Friedrich Rebbe, with the Rebbe here in Yerushalayim Kodesh. Take of miyad. Good Shabbos, everyone.